I think, as you say, with Abu Dhabi fresh in everybody's minds, it's not surprising that a lot of people are angry and annoyed after Monza, because what we saw at Monza was what didn't happen at Abu Dhabi. At Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi, they thought, right, forget the rules, forget about anything else. Let's just make sure this race finishes as a race, and we'll forget all that business of the cars unlapping themselves, and we'll just go for it. It doesn't really matter that Lewis is on the wrong tires. Let's just have a race. And on the basis of that, you'd think, well, at Monza, if they did that at Abu Dhabi, at Monza, they could quite easily have restarted the race while they were still pushing Daniel's car back
Yeah.
into that space. I mean, the problem was obviously they couldn't get it out of gear. So on that basis, you'd say, yeah, people are entitled to feel robbed. But of course, what happened after Abu Dhabi is that all the do-gooders of the world and the powers that be said, well, this is horrendous and massive mistakes were made. This must never happen again. And from now on, we must follow the rule book to the letter. And that's what they did at Monza. So, this was the time to complain about. This was not after Monza, it was after Abu Dhabi. And not enough complaints were made after Abu Dhabi. They should have, I think, given the world championship to Lewis. And I think they should have said that last lap was completely illegal, should not have been allowed. And we're going to give the results as they were behind the safety car. And that's what should have happened. And because they didn't do that, that's why we have all this stuff now of people feeling robbed or not robbed, or it was safe or it wasn't safe. Obviously, not obviously, but my perspective is safety is the most important thing. I'm probably been around a little bit longer than most people. I went to 15 funerals by the time I was 30,
Oh,
and most of them were young kids my age who died in Formula One cars. And so anything that enhances safety, I'm always 100% behind it. And I think it would have been dangerous to have restarted at Monza while they're still putting Daniel's car to rest behind the guardrail. I don't see there's any discussion about that, to be honest. And I think it did it absolutely correctly. My point is that they were totally incorrect at Abu Dhabi, and they should have finished that race behind a safety car. And for all the people out there who say, oh, Formula One races should always finish as a sprint, regardless, I would reiterate what I've said several times on my YouTube channel and on Twitch, which is that I think any TV director stroke commentator who couldn't have brought tears to everybody's eyes as Lewis Hamilton was driving that last lap at Abu Dhabi behind the safety car, waving to the crowd, fireworks going off under the night sky, having just broken Michael Schumacher's record. Anybody that couldn't have made that moment work for posterity and in the history of Formula One shouldn't be in the job in the first place. So, I mean, I
oh,
think not only do I think it was wrong to finish as a race at Abu Dhabi, I think Formula One missed a massive opportunity to create one of the most emotionally charged moments in the history of its sport.